Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning, khush amdeed. Goeiemorgen, ji ayanu, pakhair washmale ishpata. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to World this morning with only Shiza Hashmi today. I hope you guys are having an amazing day already because, well, in my part of the world where I live, that is around the Margala Hills in Islamabad. It was just so beautiful early in the morning. It was raining while I was getting ready as well, and all my way, there was some drizzling going on as well. It's really cloudy, it's really pretty, but I don't think it's going to stay for the entire day as well. So, but still, hoping that you guys are going to have a good day. Here's the thing. For the past few days, I've been talking about the third wave of the coronavirus going on. Unfortunately, we are in it now. Yes, it has started, and due to which, again, the educational institutions had to be closed again. For at least 2 weeks, the education minister did decide that it is going to be suspended all the schools, universities, in 7 major cities of Punjab specifically, of course, Islamabad, Rawalpindi being one of them as well. But then the provincial governments, now it is up to them to see the situation in their particular area and then close the schools and institutions accordingly. But here's the thing. I mean, I don't like it happening over and over again, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys share the same sentiment as well. Because while definitely there's a lot of loss of education going on as well, I feel like there's no tempo for the student life anymore, because my siblings happen to go to mashallah universities, different grades. This is their first-hand experiences. I mean, they don't feel like they have even a social circle within their, educational institutions. They don't even feel any connection to their institution as well, which is one of the very, essence or experiences of the entire university life as well, right? A lot of students are missing out on it. I really hope, inshallah, things get back to better, things get back to normal as well, inshallah, and that we are really strict in following the SOPs so that, soonest, the schools and everything does reopen and it doesn't have to shut again. Now, today happens to be another really, really important day, ladies and gentlemen, and we really need to talk about it because, well, health comes first, right? There are so many times we tell you to have a healthy breakfast, to adopt a healthy lifestyle, and that is all because we want you to be healthy. Along with ourselves, of course, we learn with you every single day, and almost every single week, 2 to 3 days, we try to bring you health segments, and that is literally just for awareness and education of us and you. So today we're doing a similar thing. In many parts of the world, International Kidney Day is being celebrated. And, here's the thing. When you talk about your own organs, kidneys happen to be one of those. If, God forbid, they would stop working, there's nothing you can do. I don't know how to paint this picture. Definitely we'll be in conversation with an expert over here, but just to mention a few things beforehand, the kidney diseases that can range from different spectrum as well. It can be acute, it can be severe as well, it can be chronic over a long period of time too. But the interesting part is it differs for different areas as well. So like a few years ago, it was really, really prevalent in the first world countries, as we say it, or let's say the developed countries for that matter, urban areas. But now it is even very prevalent in this particular region or developing countries or, well, sometimes rural areas too. But there must be so many underlying factors, right, on how and why people must develop kidney-related diseases. These are some of the questions that I need to put to my expert, and I need a lot of answers to this along with you guys as well. So without further ado, let's be introducing this man. He happens to be the consultant nephrologist, one of the finest in the Twin Cities over here, ladies and gentlemen, the head of department, KPL Hospital, Islamabad, none other than Dr. Zahid Nabi. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning, Dr. Zahid.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us on such an important day. So why don't you tell us what the theme for this year's Kidney Day is and why do we need to observe this day?
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me today.
It's our pleasure.
It's really important to know about our kidneys, and
Yes.
that initiative was taken by International Society of Nephrology.
Okay.
That worldwide a day has been assigned where we should educate people, and the main purpose of celebrating World Kidney Day is to create an awareness among the masses.
Okay.
It's not only that awareness is for the general public, but at the same time the purpose is to educate the medical professionals as well.
All
So
right.
that we can adopt measures for early detection of kidney diseases and then their proper management.
Okay.
At the same time, It was also to encourage people to have preventive behaviors, what you were just talking about,
Yes.
to take care of yourself. So each year, well, in the International Society of Nephrology, they have a theme for the World Kidney Day, and this year the theme is living well with your kidneys.
Okay.
And that is very important, because once you gave a label of a chronic kidney disease or kidney disease to somebody, so the impact is too immense, and the people usually, or the patients usually, they get depressed. They feel as if it's end of life. So
Right.
rather it's a beginning of a new life where you have to adopt yourself to that kidney disease, and the life goes on. And the main purpose is of this day is to create awareness among the general public.
Perfect. Very, very well explained the theme. Now, sir, let's talk about this specific region, or Pakistan for that matter. What are some of the most common kidney-related diseases that your patients come to you with?
Yeah, not only Pakistan, worldwide.
Okay.
Diabetes and hypertension. They are the two most leading causes of kidney disease.
Okay.
Diabetes, as we all know, it's a disease where your blood sugar gets higher.
Yes.
And then if the blood sugar remains higher for a prolonged period of time, it's not only your kidney. Diabetes affects all major organs of your body, your eyes, your heart, your brain. And the kidneys, they also get affected.
Okay.
And hypertension, same way. If your blood pressure remains uncontrolled for years, ultimately the price has to be paid, and the kidneys, they get involved, and then there is a long story. So diabetes, hypertension, they are the two main reasons.
Okay.
In Pakistan, especially in southern Punjab, you have kidney stones very prevalent here.
Yes.
Kidney stone disease. And then there are a few genetic diseases which runs in the family, and there are a few intrinsic diseases where the kidney itself, for multiple reasons, gets involved.
Okay.
The rest of the body is fine, but only the kidney is the organ which gets diseased. So these are the major. And then one important thing I want to mention is, which probably people they don't know, is the use of medicines like painkillers. Over the counter, you have headache, you will go, you will take a painkiller. So there are certain painkillers which are very notorious, and they can damage your kidneys if taken for a prolonged period of time.
Oh God, thank you so much for saying that, because a lot of people just have this habit of, just flipping a Panadol or paracetamol for that matter for no reason at all. But sir, before we do move on, I think it's very important for me, along with you guys, to learn. God forbid, I'm sorry for saying this, but this is a hypothetical situation. So if the kidney fails or fails to respond, I mean, it's just on the verge of failing, what does it do to the body? I mean, why is it harmful to be having a failed kidney?
So for that, we should know what is the basic function of the kidney, what kidney is doing to us, why this organ is very vital. So the most important thing is that the kidney is the organ which clears your blood, which cleans your blood.
Detoxes, right?
Yeah, it detoxifies your blood. Our blood, it has a lot of toxins produced in our body, and once this blood goes to the kidney, it filters it out. The toxins are just sent to the urine, and the blood remains clean. This is one function of the kidney. The other function is that our bone health is dependent on the kidney. Many people are not aware, like our hemoglobin, that is also dependent on the kidney. Our blood pressure control, our electrolytes metabolism, this all is dependent on the kidney. So once the kidney gets affected, this whole system gets knocked out. So if you are not cleaning the toxins, these toxins will accumulate in the blood. To a certain level, the body will absorb that, but after that, you become symptomatic. And at the same time, if the kidney is involved, your blood pressure may get uncontrolled. Your whole body fluid balance gets disturbed. So each this involving each organ, or sorry, each segment, it presents differently. Like if your fluid balance is disturbed, you might accumulate fluid. You have swelling in your lower limbs. You get up in the morning, you have puffiness around your face. Once your blood is not purified or clean, these toxins accumulate, and then you start having loss of appetite, nausea, vomiting, weakness, lethargy, shortness of breath. So,
but Dr. Saab, these are very common symptoms.
Yeah.
So if they occur, I don't think, kidney failure is one of the things that would occur to someone's mind, right?
That's a very important question. Because the main purpose of, again, celebrating kidney disease, I said awareness. So the people should know that if they are high risk for it or no. If I am high risk for kidney disease, to develop kidney disease or no. Like if I have kidney stones, I am high risk. I have a family history of kidney disease, I am high risk, I am diabetic, I am hypertensive, I am high risk. At the same time, there are few important symptoms. If they develop, then we should immediately seek medical attention, like if you are getting swelling of your lower limbs.
Oh, okay, okay.
So you should not sit back. At the same time, if you get froth in your urine,
Okay.
frothing of the urine, or you get blood in your urine, so don't sit back, just seek medical attention, because a lot of kidney diseases, they are really curable. I am using the word curable.
Okay.
Right? You can cure. But if that process goes on for a longer period of time, then unfortunately a stage comes where you have just mentioned that chronic kidney disease, and then the disease process becomes chronic, it becomes irreversible.
Okay.
So then we cannot cure the disease. So still that is not end of life.
Okay.
There are so many options available.
Right.
So that's how you should proceed, that you should know that if you are high risk or no. And if you have there are few kidney diseases which are transmitted in the families. So if your mother and father has a kidney disease, so you have to be careful about that.
Right, right. That is very important. And like you mentioned, the swelling of lower limbs. Now, these are some of the symptoms, I want to say, or some of the things that we just tend to ignore. I mean, shortness of breath or something like that, because it's so common, right? It may happen every day, God forbid. But if it is prolonged, please go see a doctor. Now, Dr. Saab, you know, someone very close to me, very, very close to me, was born with just one kidney, right? They're properly functioning, mashallah, but well, being close to them, of course, the family is really worried about them. So every now and then we would go to the doctor, and a nephrologist would probably ask him, oh, please do an, well, check it out, do an ultrasound or similar thing to let us know what's wrong. Maybe we need to donate a kidney or something like that. But the doctor always says one kidney is working perfectly fine, maybe even working for two for that matter, because of course it's Allah's creation then again. But we are so worried. But then I realized it may differ for different people, right? Right now, well, that person is a teenager. I really hope it doesn't get bad. But at this position, when you're born with just one properly functioning kidney, what are the chances of, well, complications?
Again, as I said a short while before,
yes,
that you should know that you are high risk patient or not. So if you have a single kidney, you're born with a single kidney.
yes,
So down the road, over the years, there is a chance that that kidney is hyperfiltrating. It's functioning more than the normal what it should. So it gets hypertrophied, the size of the kidney increases.
Okay.
And then there's a chance in future that you might get, because of that hyperfiltration, you might get some injury in the kidney. There's a chance.
Okay.
So you have to be careful.
Right.
So you have to monitor yourself. You should be well hydrated. And you should avoid anything which can further damage the kidney. Like you should not take those painkillers which are available, diclofenac, sodium, potassium. You should avoid those.
Okay.
You should be well hydrated, as I mentioned. You should always check your blood pressure, because you are prone to get hypertensive. And if you get so, you control your blood pressure accordingly. And maybe an annual check.
Right.
And in annual check, the most important test which is being ignored, it's very cheap, anybody can do it, that is the urine analysis.
Okay.
So urine tells you a lot about your kidney.
Pakistanis don't have this habit of continuously going to see a doctor, right? I think we take the phrase very seriously, an apple a day, and all of us have apples every day. But sir, one very important aspect that we sort of missed out on, we are going through a pandemic. Is the pandemic a cause for kidney patients to worry about?
Yeah, that is because, you know, you have seen that the patients who are in fact really getting sick because of COVID, these are either elderly or those who have chronic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, and kidney disease as well.
Okay.
So your risk multiplies if you're a kidney patient. So you have to be more careful, as you mentioned in your intro.
Yes.
During this pandemic, kidney disease patients, they have to be very careful because they are immunocompromised. Their immune system is a bit weaker as compared to the general public. So they have to be more careful. And if God forbid they acquire this disease, they have to immediately seek medical attention.
All right, all right. So definitely this is something you need to worry about in case you have a kidney disease. Now towards the end, here's a myth I heard about my entire life. I have definitely seen people getting dialysis on a continuous, on a continuous pattern as well. Some may get rid of it after a few months. Some have to do it for the rest of their lives. But Dr. Saab, a lot of people I have seen being hesitant to choose dialysis. Why?
Yeah, that is also a very important question. It has multiple aspects, but the first thing is the myth. the society thinks that dialysis is probably a death warrant.
Yeah.
In
Is
fact,
it?
no,
Be
not
honest.
no, not at
God
all.
forbid.
In fact, it is a solution. It is not a problem.
Okay.
The problem comes how we are dialyzing our patients. The problem is that a few years back there were not too many good dialysis centers even in Pindi, Islamabad.
Yes.
So what to talk about the peripheries. So good dialysis is the solution.
Okay.
We recently transplanted a patient. He was on dialysis with us for 13 years.
Okay.
Right? So dialysis, a good dialysis, you can carry on your normal life.
It's sort of a lifestyle then,
Yeah,
right?
you adopt to yourself to that lifestyle, and the life goes on. And then if you have a donor, you can always proceed for a transplant. So if you are a dialysis patient, that is not end of life. That is
Okay.
probably beginning of a new life where you have to adopt yourself to that life. So we have so many patients there on dialysis 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. But good dialysis.
Okay.
The problem is that a bad dialysis gives so many issues to those patients. So once that is being reflected as like dialysis is something very bad, but that is not true.
Okay, okay. Now, Dr. Sir, one of the other researchers shows, and I was reading, it is very important for you guys to learn this as well, that lower middle income countries actually have double the cases of chronic kidney disorders. Can you believe that? And even more interesting part of it is that women all over the world, the stats proves that women tend to develop more cases of kidney diseases as compared to men, around 30% more. Is this a factor, sir?
It is, and in Pakistan as well. The problem is a country like Pakistan, which does not have enough resources, we don't detect kidney disease that early.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
The second thing is that once a kidney disease happens to a female, we are not talking of maybe the major cities, but in the peripheries,
Yeah.
probably the female, they don't get that care because they are not the
Yes.
breadwinners most of the time.
course.
So they are not privileged to get the maximum best possible health facility. So that is one of the reason. And the other reason in Pakistan probably that we don't have enough data to which can statistically we can't tell you truly that is the actual statistics.
Right,
But from our
right.
experience we are observing, yes, that is true, females are getting a lot of more kidney diseases, and there's certain other reasons. They are also getting few pregnancy related complications which are involving the kidneys.
Okay.
And then we don't have good antenatal cares and postnatal care, so that's why a lot of kidney diseases which females they are just having because of pregnancy related issues.
Okay.
So
Got it.
that's right.
Also, sir, what is actually transplant an option? Should it always be an option? And is it
Yes.
available?
Transplant is the best possible option for anybody who has been labeled end-stage kidney disease,
Okay.
and they have been advised that you need lifelong dialysis.
All right.
All of them should explore this option. This is an excellent option. The life comes back to normal. Alhamdulillah, in Pakistan, even in the government sector, now we have Pakistan Kidney and Liver Institute in Lahore,
Okay.
SIUT in Karachi, where transplants are done free of cost.
Okay,
And
I
even
didn't know that.
even a transplant in a private sector, it costs maybe 1 million to 1.2 million. And if you have a donor, then you should go for a transplant. A
Do
transplant.
Pakistanis have the concept of being a donor? Because it has some controversies that I don't want to get into.
Yeah, that is another issue. Unfortunately, we are far behind on this subject as well.
Okay.
Because in the West, you have a disease donor program, which unfortunately does not exist in Pakistan. And there is a paired exchange program, which does not exist in Pakistan.
All
And then there is a living donor program, a living related donor program, which exists in Pakistan. And again, I just want to mention, this is my personal experience being a
Yes.
transplant physician,
Yes, please.
that somehow most of our donors, even we have statistics for that, most of our donors are females.
Okay.
So when the male gets a kidney disease,
Of course.
the wife is ready to donate, the mother is ready to donate, the sister is ready to donate. But otherwise, once a
No
female
one is
gets end-stage kidney disease, this is my personal experience as well.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they don't have so many donors available. So if you get a kidney disease, that is the message. If you get a kidney disease, you have been
Right.
told that you have end-stage kidney disease and transplant is an option, please go for it.
Okay.
That is the best possible option. Your life can come back to normal.
And it's safe, right?
It
Because
is safe.
people, that is one of the issues people
Yeah,
have.
the transplant success, 5-year transplant survival is around 86 to 90% now.
Okay.
So
That's a
yeah,
great number.
10-year survival is around 70-80%.
Got it.
So a transplant increases your lifespan 12 to 20 years as compared to dialysis.
Wow, okay.
So
And it's, I mean, it's a one-time fix as well, right?
exactly,
Right,
exactly.
but thank you so much, Dr. Zahid Nabi. You were very informational early in the morning
Thank
as
you.
well. And well, these are some of the points, ladies and gentlemen, that we needed to put out to you guys as well. Because again, health is wealth, right? And it is not just a saying. Jaan hai to jahan hai, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, if this is the simplest of the things. If you're feeling healthy, if you're feeling good, that is the only time when you can achieve bigger things as well. Now, one of the things Dr. Zahid said over here was how if a male part of the family does require a transplant, females are always there to, well, offer. I'm not going to criticize that. I'm just happy in the part that women generally have that nature of being nurturing, right? And I think now is a very good time to talk about the women of Pakistan because, like I mentioned yesterday as well, for the entire week and the next few days too, we will have some amazing women on the show. We will definitely talk about their journeys, how they became what they are today, and how they, in their own capacity, are impacting our society now. So, for the next segment, that is what we have in plan. Stay tuned to find out more. Good morning. Welcome back to Well This Morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Shiza Hashmi. And today in the first segment, we were being educated about how to have healthy kidneys. Because yes, it is World Kidney Day and kidney-related diseases are one of the most prevalent. In fact, do you know, it is ranked on the 18th number worldwide to be fatal. And this is something very serious, so that is why we felt it was important to discuss. But now coming back to what we've been doing for the entire week, we have been celebrating some amazing, amazing women who are contributing to the society definitely, but are also role models or inspiration for a lot of people. And the two amazing women that I have over here in the studio today are definitely an inspiration for me. I'll tell you why. Because, well, while they happen to be motivational speakers and behavioral analysts for that matter, when we talk about one of the factors, emotional intelligence, that is something that I need to desperately learn. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you out there are having trouble with it as well. I do get young girls writing to me about how I got to where I am and how to deal with situations, how to deal with people or different genders in a workspace. So maybe today is the day we answer all those questions, because of course I'm not the right person, but I do have the right people or the very apt experts over here in my studio. So without further ado, let's start this conversation. Firstly, I've been joined by someone who happens to be a board certified behavioral analyst, ladies and gentlemen, none other than Ms. Jawahar. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thank you so much. Next, we have someone, well, the list is very long, but I'm going to stick to, well, some of the very basic feathers she has in her hat. She happens to be a certified personal development coach, of course, a behavioral therapist as well, and CEO and founder of Leaders Lead Consultancy. Ladies and gentlemen, she is Amber Usmani. Hello, assalamu alaikum, welcome back.
Walaikum. Thank you, Shiza, for inviting me once again.
It's our pleasure. First of all, I don't want to say belated because every day is that Happy Women's Week to you. That is what we are celebrating here. Before we do move on to some of the tips that I need from both of you, I want you to tell me, you know, there's a certain position where you are right now, but it wasn't always that. There was a story, there was a struggle. Let's begin with you, Amber. How did you reach where you are today? Who is Amber that we know today?
Obviously, it's your life experiences that shape you,
True.
and you have to go through a lot of processes. And what I am doing is actually what my passion was always to, you know, empower other people and empower myself by empowering other people.
Yes.
So I work for women empowerment. I work for leadership coaching. I work with a lot of women. So since we are celebrating the Women's Week and being a woman myself, it feels really nice to have a special day for women,
Right.
when they can be honored and appreciated. I think it should be done on a daily basis.
Definitely, definitely. What about you, Ms. Jawahar? You're a behavioral analyst. Did you always want to become one? And what's your story?
No, I never did, and I just thought I'm going to be just a housewife at home.
Okay.
But then when I moved to Chicago, I started working in a Montessori setting, and over there I worked with the children who were coming in with special needs.
Okay.
And they were all in early intervention.
Okay.
So from there, I started to think about that, okay, I'm going to do a master's. So I did a master's in, I took admission for a master's in early childhood, but then the first class was in special ed and I fell in love with it.
Wow.
And as I was talking earlier this morning, that, you know, I was listening to Oprah Winfrey the other day, and she said there was a book that she read about, you know, the seed of the soul, and it talks about power of women, because this is you know, it's all women empowerment that we're talking about.
Yes.
And she said that, you know, you just have to find power is when your personality sinks in with your soul.
Wow, that's actually
So
pretty right.
I just think that when I went to special ed, I fell in love with it. And then as behaviors came along, I went into becoming a board certified behavior analyst. I'm at a
Wow.
doctoral level right now. Currently, we have almost seven clinical settings in Pakistan.
Amazing,
And also in
amazing.
Chicago.
Mashallah, that is amazing and brilliant. And like you said, you know, you really, I mean, you have to find the soul of what you have to do as well.
Right.
But that does not always, I mean, come to you when you're a teenager or something. Like you said, you found it after you were married.
Yes.
So it can actually happen at any time.
It can happen
But
at
to
any
realize that or to get there, I think self-worth or realizing the importance of your own self, your own respect, your dignity, and your value, knowing your value is important. Amber, how can we first of all measure, if that's a word, our self-worth, and how should we develop it if we don't have it?
Yes, That's such an amazing question, Shiz, I must say. See, I work on the personal development, especially when a client comes to me, and specifically if I talk about women, I focus more on their personal development while working on their self-worth.
Okay.
So basically, what is self-worth?
Yes.
So self-worth is how much you appreciate and like yourself. So it's a feeling that you are a good person who deserves to be treated with respect and love. So this is, I think, the first step, you know, recognizing your worth as a woman, giving value to yourself, because I believe unless you don't value yourself, no one else is coming to and, you know, value you.
And we've seen that in the last so many decades and millennials even, right?
Yes, in the history of womanhood, we
Definitely,
have been
definitely.
seeing all these things. So yes, and the other part of your question was, sorry, and
If
how
you
to
don't, yeah, how to develop it if you don't have it? Because it's only natural. A lot of people don't know their value.
Yes, that is so true. And I think to get there, you know, to know your actual worth, first you have to give respect to your own potential, knowledge, and skills. So this is, I think, the first step.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you agree, Ms. Jawahar?
Yes, I totally agree with that. I just think that we don't give ourselves enough worth as women, and especially as women belonging to South Asia, Pakistan. You know,
There's societal reasons.
yeah, just societal reasons. You know, I just think that we don't, and I think this is so important that we give ourselves that worth and validity, and that's why when I went back,
Yeah.
I never stopped going back to school. I used to do everything, like I used to have kids, you know, I'm working, I'm doing everything in the house,
Okay.
all the chores, still doing my master's, my PhD, working
Nice.
full time.
Wow.
So I just think that the only thing that made me go was my mom.
Oh,
And my mom
support
said,
system, it's so important.
She said that whatever you do, always educate yourself, because nobody can take your education from you. Groom yourself as much as you can, and that's, you know, that's what I did.
And that's just beautiful. But you know, one thing I realized while talking about this particular thing, Ms. Jawahar, was that the environment where you grow in is really important. I mean, you can't grow roses in a dump. That is true, right? And like you said, you moved out to realize you had to be someone or do something for yourself. I'm not trying to make a negative comment over here that you have to move away from this space, but the environment does matter. Ms. Amber, does it?
Yes.
And in what ways?
Yes, it does, obviously. Like the support system you are mentioning, the
Yes.
society we live in, obviously, as a woman, we require a lot of, you know, support from our family. And, but to be honest, what I believe,
Yeah.
I believe in a strong woman, a woman who does not need to hide you know, behind her husband, brother, or father's back. She should be strong enough to, you know, face the challenges in life, and, you know, with her head held high. And as women, you know, for a long time we have been considered as emotional, and women are like extremely expressive, and people think that you know, we don't have the ability to control our emotions and thoughts, and the reactions we give to certain situations and things that come our way.
Yeah.
So
Isn't that a good thing to have emotions?
yes, it is. That's what I actually preach, that accept and acknowledge your emotions. It's like we are the creators, and we should be proud of being a woman. So we are the ones who are actually in touch of our emotions, and that is nothing pure than it, you know. So just although all these stereotypes have their you know, reality basis,
Yes.
but that don't actually define what it actually means to be a woman.
Right.
You know, we have
You can't
toys.
limit it.
Yes.
I mean, it's not just emotions. But now, since you know the theme for this, you can definitely add to it, Miss Amber. The theme was we were celebrating women in leadership positions. Now, considering that it's only natural, it is in nature of the human being that women or females will have more emotions than man, if we are definitely comparing. So, in a leadership role, if that woman is bringing the emotions to the table, how can she control it first of all, and can it be healthy? Let's begin with you, then Ms. Jawahar can add, of course.
Okay. Okay. See, emotional and mental strengths are something that, you know, what makes a woman powerful and, you know, adaptable to any environment. So, you know, building your emotional strength is something important as a woman while working professionally or even in your personal life and in your relationships as well.
Right.
So what I think, there are certain things which I actually advise and which I actually coach to my clients. If you like, I can share it.
Please do, please.
So I think while working on your emotional strengths, what you need to do is to, you know, you just have to first find your weaknesses and learn from them.
Is it so easy?
It is not. It's a process, actually.
It sounds
It's-
easy.
It is a process,
Yeah.
basically. Because to be honest, Shiza, I have actually gone through all these processes. I have experienced them myself. And I know when you are on your personal journey, personal transformation, it's amazing. Because
Yeah.
every day is learning about your own self. And I think when you have a deep knowledge of your own self,
Yes.
it actually gives you more understanding where to work, what to change, and how to grow, actually.
And to know your value and accept things according to that. Ms. Jawahar, please do add to whatever Ms. Amber said as well. And also, if women are in leadership positions, then how can they manage their emotions that they're bringing there to their workplace?
So again, to add to what was said,
Yes.
I just would say that emotions are good, and I am the most emotional person.
Oh.
And you know, I am so emotional that at certain times my mom used to say that you were born in Muharram, that's why you cry so much.
Aw.
So like
I
I'm
was
very
born
sensitive.
in Muharram as well.
Both of you have something in common.
Yeah, so I'm so sensitive that I cannot, like, I'll cry over anything. Like,
Okay.
a smallest thing would make me cry. But then again, if you look at it, I'm an entrepreneur. I've built clinics in Dubai all by myself. I was actually going to
mashallah.
get the award, Sheikh Mohammed's award also.
Amazing.
And then, you know, just to be the disability-friendly clinic. I have done a lot of trainings. You know, so basically I am in a leadership position. I am
Right.
a CEO of BASES, Behavior and Special Education
Yes.
Services, but I'm emotional too. So I just think that emotions
works
are
out.
my power.
Oh, I
They're
like
my
it. I like it.
superpower.
I like
and
it.
they have brought me to where I am.
Beautiful, beautiful. Ms. Amber, you were going to say something?
Yes, because we are emotional, because we are not, you know, women. We are humans as
only
well,
human,
like
absolutely.
everyone else.
Right. So, you know, one thing I realized in both of your stories is compassion, and I'll tell you how. Like you said, you went through the journey to realize how to train someone else to go through that, right? And you just fell in love with special education and you had to. So it's compassion. How important do you think it is to for compassion to be there to continue anything that you're doing? I mean, this can't, if you didn't have gone through that journey, you wouldn't know the struggles of the people. And whatever you would have said then might have sounded fake. You know what I mean? Because you're just making it up then. So how important is compassion or empathy?
Actually, empathy comes with compassion.
Yes.
And compassion comes with your personal experiences, right? And your choice. And when you have that kind of self-awareness and who you actually are. So when you find out who you actually are, what you want and what you don't want, then I think there's a clear path.
Yes.
Right. And what I say in my you know, workshops and when I talk to audiences and people, that especially women, that accept the fact that we are emotional, because Allah ने मिट्टी में हमारी डाला है emotional,
of course.
right? If we are not emotional, like the emotions are there more than men, because we have to, you know, give birth to children, and we need to be, you know, have that sort of nurturing and soft heart. So emotions are good.
Right.
And yes, I am an emotional person as well. I operate more like from my emotional side.
But emotional intelligence is then one thing. I mean,
Yes.
emotion. Let's talk about that. Please, I mean, in fact, enlighten me and then teach me about it as well, because this is one of the questions that I receive a lot and I don't know how to answer that. Emotional intelligence.
Yes, it's more about Shiza, how you channelize those emotions. You don't let your emotions to take over your mind,
Right.
because rational thinking and emotional. This is, I think, this is a best combination when you are dealing your challenges in life. So do operate from your emotions. Sometimes emotions get so overwhelming, then pause.
Okay.
Take a pause and resume the conversation, or because let the chemicals settle down and then rethink and reanalyze the situation. That's the
Yeah.
best way, I think.
Right.
So, and one thing is, for women, I just want start taking responsibility of yourself, of your actions, your feelings and thoughts. Don't
Yes.
suppress what you want to say. Just express your feelings, and so this is very important. Start standing up for yourself and give
Absolutely.
value to yourself first.
I think that is the most important thing, and I think in a lot of Pakistani households it's not really common. It doesn't happen, I hate to say this, but it doesn't. It was after a lot of years that my mother did find it real, and we love the fact, us siblings, we love the fact that now she has a life, she has a social life, she has things that she likes, she'll make posts about things, she'll make opinions about things. She wasn't always like that, but to see the change, we are in love with this new person, and I think it's really healthy.
I think
What
it
do you
is.
think about this, Mr. Jawahar? And also, to add to that question as well, emotional intelligence does not only belong to workplaces, like I mentioned, my mother for that matter, it does belong to houses,
Right.
for students, and it belongs to their institutions, in a friend circle, everywhere. So how to bring the right quotient?
Right. So the same thing I would say is that it is how you channelize your emotions.
Yes.
So like I said, that as a behavior analyst, I've dealt with so many families and so many kids and so many adults who've had special needs and developmental disabilities.
Okay.
And, just to be with them and work with them, we get something that is called as compassionate fatigue.
Yes.
And that is that, suppose if I am with a child who's had a random accident, or, the mother's crying because the in-laws have said something,
Okay,
and that's
okay.
very common in our culture,
Yes.
because especially with our special needs population.
Okay.
So there's a common stimuli in that environment that will be in this environment, and that will take me to that moment when I was with that mother. So that's emotionally taking me back over there, and that's
Right.
compassionate fatigue, and we go through that too. So just to channelize all those emotions, along with the emotions at home that we're dealing with, like all the ups and downs of the house, the household, the kids, the family, I just think that it's just a way of how you draw that line between your emotional self and then your professional self,
Right.
and then how to channel it.
But it's not that easy to game. I mean, the way you're saying it, it does sound easy, because it's probably because of the way you guys are trained to speak as well. You're both, mashallah, behavioral analysts. But for a person who has to actually go through that journey, it takes a lot of time. And for different people, it takes different amount of time.
Right.
But now there's one thing we're really happy that, the entire arena of Pakistan is changing in a way that women now are doing what they like. Generally speaking, again, it's not the same case for everyone. So now that we are seeing a shift in the entire society, we're loving it. How can we make sure that it is sustainable, first of all? And like you said, when you go to work, you have to be there. When you come back home, you have to be fully present at your home. And so it's double, triple roles. How can we make that happen in a successful way? Do you have any tips? Because you guys are doing it, mashallah.
I just
Both
think
of you,
that
yes.
there's a lot of coaching that needs to be done for our women.
Okay. Only women?
Well,
Because
both.
there are people who have to
Right.
accept us as well, right?
So it's for women, men, for in-laws, for families. And what we do at our work is that how I deal with this is that I have a lot of parents that come from many suburbs also.
Okay.
And I just have like a lot of counseling sessions, which are group sessions. And in that, we are empowering the parents, the in-laws, whoever, the nannies, everywhere, so that they can understand how to deal with these situations on a daily basis. Because the families that we deal with, they're like really, really going through a lot of emotional trauma and things
Okay.
like that. For me, as for typical, households, I just think that it is extremely important that there should be a lot of education, a lot of coaching, a lot of professional development for women, and I think that that should be a part of our educational system.
Absolutely, I do believe that.
And I think that when I was in school, I was in a convent. There was a class that used to be for character building and professional development.
Nice.
And I just loved it because I learned a lot from that class, and I just think that our educational system should have those things, encompass those things.
I totally
so that
agree.
women understand that they should never be underestimated.
And they shouldn't ever have to accept what they're given, right?
Exactly.
In terms of bad behavior, I mean, of course, they
Of
should know
course,
their value.
of course,
What do
yeah.
you think, Miss Amber?
Yes, I totally second Jawahir, and we are actually working on it. We are trying to contribute to our education, educational institutions to, educate our younger generations on emotional well-being and how to, cope. And yes, I also do a lot of coaching and counseling sessions with a lot of parents and to educate them. And while you were talking about, it's not just about educating the women. Like, we conduct seminars and trainings on women issues, and we just talk with the women. But I think you must have seen there are a lot of family system is breaking, and there are a lot of these kind of issues which are coming up, relationship issues are coming up, and
Yes.
I think that's because since last 10 to 20 years, we have been focusing more on girls' education, which is absolutely amazing, and we have seen the changes in the mindset, and girls are more aware. But while developing and empowering one segment of our society, are we preparing our men and educating them how to live with that empowered women?
That is an amazing, I wish we could talk about this even more. That is an amazing point.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
and this is
Yes.
what I really, try to, convince that this is something we need to, take both segments of the society
Absolutely.
on board. We need to, educate our men in terms of psychological, emotional, they should also have, and first of all, this is also again our responsibility
Yes.
as women, as mothers, that we should educate our sons how to, respect a women.
Treat them, yes,
Yes,
absolutely, absolutely.
and so this is all actually coming from parenting.
Yes, that matters a lot. But thank you so much, ladies. Thank you so much for being so inspirational and then so insightful early in the morning. It was very pleasant to be in conversation with you, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Women's Week that we are definitely celebrating. We will in the coming days still be in conversation with some amazing people. And the best part about this segment that I learned from you both is that it's not just one segment we have to treat in order to fix the society. It is taking everyone equally forward. If you have any questions, feedback, or, well, any sort of thing to say about our show, any suggestions even, you can write to us on our social media pages, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, with the name of World This Morning. And the repeat of this show you can catch at 5 past midnight tonight. Till the next time, good morning, take care.